So there you go. So
You'll fit right in.
let me go ahead and shoot these out to you guys. I brought an extra one. Do you need one for the record as well?
I usually put mine in there.
You do?
so-
Okay, fair enough. I brought an extra one just in case. So. Okay. All right. Let me just kind of get this out. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right. So, Will, thank you guys for having me this morning. So, just wanted to go over your quarterly review. Kind of, it's a 2-quarter review actually, since going back all the way to January. So, thought we'd just kind of go over the numbers, starting with page number 1. If you guys kind of take a look, we look at what our projected was. That's column number 1. And then column number 2 is our actual through the end of June. So this report really only goes through the end of June. If you look down at the bottom there, you're going to see a 6.84% above our projected. The rationale for that was because we had a census change. So you can actually kind of look in the numbers and see under the family section, that's where our numbers kind of went up. So for whatever, I don't know exactly what individuals were part of that, but that's what accounted for that change, is that we had a census change going from either a single or employee plus spouse to the family section. So that increased it to 6.84. The third column is probably the most important one, is because when we put back in the reserves that you guys have already been putting into your account, that drops us down to an 18.89% under what our projected was. So we're doing very well, in other words. So that's kind of the first look. Any questions on page number 1? Pretty straightforward. Okay, you betcha. On the second page, obviously you want to know kind of how much you guys have in reserves in your bank account. That's the last column on the right-hand side. This is as of June 30th, what you guys are seeing. I just got the new numbers as of July 31st, and that number is 85,714. So that's the most current I have is July 31st. 85,714 is what I'm showing. Okay, so everything else is moving well in that regard. Any questions on page 2? Pretty straightforward. Page 3, since we self-fund your dental through the plan, this gives you guys just some kind of general takeaway numbers. Pretty straightforward. The only thing that you'll see a little bit different is because we've been going off this plan for some time. If in the upper right-hand corner, try not to fall too far in the weeds, you'll see the stop-loss factors. It'll say single $15.99. Can you guys see that up there in the right-hand corner? Mm-hmm. And then if you look down in the lower left-hand corner, it'll say the single is coming in at $17.96. And the only reason is because we've used those $15.99 numbers for some time, and then we had adjustments to that. So pretty minor numbers, to be honest with you. I just wanted you guys to see it if you were going, why aren't these numbers matching up? And that's the rationale for that. But very small in the grand scheme of things, for sure. So still doing very, very well. You're providing an excellent benefit, and the county's saving a bunch of money, that's for sure. So
$1.98 special.
Yes, that is right, yeah. All right. Any questions on that page? You guys okay? All right, fantastic. The next one is just a pretty standard assessment. We always like to show you guys what the top benefits are by group. Obviously the very top one is going to be your prescription, your RX claims and so forth. And it just kind of breaks it down from there. And you can go through top benefits. So that would be that first page. If you guys flip the next page over, I'm not trying to rush you or anything, but it coincides with the next one is the top providers that you'll see. So it's top benefits, and the second page is top providers. And you'll see that top provider up there, Servue. That's your guys' custom prescription pharmaceutical vendor. So that's obviously why they're at the very top. So you can look at top providers by group. That's the next 2 pages. And all those kind of summarized there at the very last page. So it's an interesting kind of look on kind of what you guys are utilizing or what your people are utilizing throughout the area. One thing just to kind of make note here is if you guys look at the dollar amount paid by the plan, let's go back to the top benefits page. And down at the lower right-hand corner, so if you go to top benefits, it'll say $92,193. If you guys see that? Okay. And that will coincide with the bottom number, the summary on the top providers page. Exactly right there. Yeah, it's $92,193. So we can verify that all money for those paid benefits is going to those providers. So those 2 numbers always should match. Any question on the top benefits, top providers?
I think we're good.
You think you guys are good? Awesome. The next couple of pages are just kind of an interesting look at kind of the utilization summary for Servue. This is your pharmaceuticals. I think the pie chart just kind of tells you that you guys are using a combination of brand names and generics and kind of what those costs are associated with that. And the pie chart just kind of says, you know, our total percent of total prescriptions is going to be in the generic. But then you look at the pie chart right next to that with the predominantly purple, and it's kind of showing us that it's kind of reversed in a way. So the cost is more towards the brand names, which that makes sense,
Yeah.
of course. But just always kind of trying to break down those numbers for you guys. Okay. So really, in summary, the last 2 pages, we always just like to throw these in here so you guys have quick access to it. It's this, yep, correct? It just shows what your guys' plan is, what your benefits are, deductibles, all those things. Co-insurance, etc. So medical is the one primarily with the red border at the top. Flip the page over, and that's your funded dental plan as well. So real straightforward review. And so Julie and my mom wanted me to kind of pass it on to you guys. If the question arose about renewals, we start getting good numbers about the 1st of October. So they're going to be calling you, Scott, to get put on the schedule. Just remember, we compile all the information from all the carriers. So we'll take care of all that for you guys. So we'll be compiling all that information around the 1st of October to present.
Okay. And so open enrollment usually November?
Yeah, so usually December is when we'll have our employee meeting. Exactly right.
Okay.
You bet. So we'll come out, and just like we've done in the past, we'll do the whole meeting with the employees, pass out their packets, all their required forms, all those supporting documentation.
Okay, sounds great.
Real straightforward.
Yeah, and we don't really have anything.
I don't know.
No, the thing must be motoring down the straight path.
That's
so-
the way we want to
Yeah,
be.
no kidding.
Yeah, just no speed bumps, right?
Yeah.
So, well, fantastic. If you sure you guys don't need an additional copy? You good?
I think we're all right.
Okay, all right. Well, I appreciate you guys having me. I
You
sure.
have a plan for supplemental?
So on the like Medicare supplements, absolutely. My mom is actually kind of an expert in that, and she has a lot of good information. Do you want her to call you directly, or is this going to be a commissioner type?
I don't know.
Official. I don't know how you.
Well, Glenda has the same questions, and maybe when they come in December.
We're going to come in October.
Okay.
To do we're
Right.
going to present for you in
Right.
October.
Well,
Would that suffice?
I'm on Medicare,
So it's for an individual.
and commissioners get health insurance. Well,
Sure.
that's fine. I'm all right. But
Yeah.
if there is a supplemental, I wouldn't mind having.
Yeah. Well, if you want to wait till October, Mom and Julie are coming to that meeting in October. If not, if that's too far along, I'll have Mom call you directly.
No, I'm fine. I think I talked to her before,
Okay,
and I don't know what she come up with.
okay. Well,
I don't know if we have very many employees who are on Medicare or not.
Yeah, a few
of them.
got, Road and Bridge has quite a few guys that are eligible anyway.
well, maybe I'll put the bug in Mom and Julie's ear to work up some numbers and work up a type of an explanation or a presentation for you.
That would be really nice.
Would that
My
be-
wife's gonna be eligible for Medicare.
Yeah, yeah. I know my mom's she has hundreds and hundreds of people that she works with.
Every
so,
day, getting closer.
All right, Brian.
Well, thank you for your time, guys.
Thank you
I
very
sure
much for the
appreciate it.
update.
So, you guys have a great weekend.
Sounds like
All right.
everything's growing great, so we're happy.
All right, you betcha. Thank you.
It'll be what it is.
Yeah. All right.
If you really look at these numbers, they don't pay off. That's all they paid out is 21.7%.
Of what we paid in? Or what's in
No,
that?
of what the bill was. And I'm sure we paid in a lot more than that.
Thought the meeting was on Thursday instead of Friday, so
You
I
know
wasn't
what?
He
happy.
said he got a
No,
message from him.
they haven't
a while
paid
ago.
nothing on me all
Said he
year.
was on his way, so.
See, they,
Yeah, 'cause
they
we set up a
paid
special
well.
They went
meeting
in office,
with
what it
Jared
was,
and I.
Really?
85 bucks.
Yeah, we met with
And
you
Jeff said he
Wednesday.
signed yesterday, and that
Yeah.
was Thursday, right?
No,
Yeah,
I-
but we,
Yesterday.
All you should
we
be
saw
paying
you
is
on
a $25
Wednesday.
cooper.
That's all we pay.
Meeting Wednesday night and then
we
someone
haven't
on
had
Thursday,
issues.
so I didn't anticipate him
Well, I know
being here.
Tom sent
We haven't had any
an email out
problems.
yesterday, you
And
know, I got it last
trust me,
night.
my
so I
wife
thought,
uses
well,
it a lot.
So I don't know what to do with it.
Well, I'm glad I don't
And, you
use
know,
it
just
a
a
lot,
while
'cause I
ago,
never
we
paid
got a
it.
message from him.
I would like to know what we have spent on that this year too. Can you get that
How much we've spent?
for the premium so far this year?
Yeah, I can get it to you.
Well, hang on, if I just times this up here, let me look on this paper.
A couple of the guys that might be able to answer questions or sit on the edge of the, then we can chat with them. But we want to introduce yourself and let them know that you're interested in at least reviewing insurance needs for the.
You're the pilot show.
Yeah, you guys
Yeah, because I mean, that's probably picking it up, isn't it?
Hi, guys.
It's Natasha. I said, where did you come up with the name Noah's Ark Plumbing? I didn't realize they named their daughter Noah.
Oh. That makes sense.
That's what we paid in so far this year, and that's what they paid out.
Little bit.
Not even 50%.
Wonder if that's just lag in getting things submitted.
I don't know.
That's our biggest trouble is submission of the bills.
Some of the people that we've shown, like the cards to, completely confuses.
Oh, I know.
And I mean, I've kept everything because I'd love to sit down with them and say, okay, I am so confused.
Yeah.
And
It's still a whale of a benefit though.
oh yeah, yeah. But when you don't understand the program, it's hard to explain it to someone
Yeah.
else.
Yeah, I certainly don't.
The card thing?
Mm-hmm.
Once like, if you're at a new place, that's the hardest. There's no else that's good.
One thing that helped us is she ran a copy of both cards just on a piece of paper. Instead of handing her the cards, she hands them that piece of paper with both cards on it.
That's what we've been
Yeah.
giving the kids.
Yeah. The hard part's getting the person you handed it to submit it correctly.
Right.
That's the hard part.
guess he's not here. Johnny.
I don't
No,
know,
not yet.
you forgot we're on Central Time.
Well, Terry and I got an email that he thought the commissioners meeting was yesterday
Yeah,
and not today. So we met with him on Wednesday because I was of the impression he wouldn't be here today.
I was too.
But he acted like he talked to him and he
Yeah.
might as well.
Yeah. We're gonna need Dave for the 10:45, by the way.
I think he's on his way, I saw him circling the block.
Okay.
I was told that's an open road.
No.
It's a private road.
That's what I told him. I said, I don't think it's an open road.
No.
What's he wanting done?
He wants it maintained by the county.
That's really my fault. When I worked up there, I did it once in a while.
Well, we like to blame things on you anyway, so it'll fit right into our plan.
I don't care, I got children. Yeah, I just assumed being that was on that side of the road, that was county roads. I just said it once in a while when I'd come back into town.
I see him moving all that dirt out there. Dave was in here, we're gonna have to elevate a road for the Tysons are building a new house. Remember him being in here talking about elevating that road?
Well, it's been discussed, and I know it's something they want done,
But
but
they're building that house, I bet it's over a mile south of the highway. They're going, you know where that old Woball place was at, or you, they're on south of that, a half a mile.
really. So there's nothing, there's no road whatsoever from
No,
that
no,
house.
no. And I just looked, it is an open road down to that Woball place.
We'll discuss the roads, Dave.
Okay.
The Tysons, you talked to us about, they were gonna build a home when they needed that road elevated.
Yeah,
Did you see how far on south of there they're building that house?
yeah, and they hired a contractor to build the road there,
They are building the road,
from where we end, yes.
'cause we gotta go, what, a half a mile maybe?
Yeah, half mile.
And that's gonna take quite a little work.
Yep.
Probably take a culvert.
We may wind up changing out a culvert or something there, yes. And I don't know what they need.
Draw right there,
What's that?
that's a big old draw right there.
I don't know, nothing was said about putting a draw in on their part, because I know the contractor was in there Monday morning, I think, or Tuesday, one of the two, so.
They're moving quite a little dirt down there.
Let's see,
Looks like anyway from the road.
does look
They
like.
got big water tanks and they're backing.
Of course, they got the water well all established, so they're probably pumping it in reserve tanks so they could water the road or something, so.
Well, I just wonder, it looks to me like they're just elevating a spot to build the house.
Would be my guess too.
Well, Mr. Duncan, I think we're ready for you. If you,
There's a book for each one of you here that'll cover what some of the topics that I'm going to talk about today. Now, the first question, if y'all can go back to last meeting, when I told you I dropped stuff off at your office 13 months ago, you said you sent me a message. How did you send me a message? I've had the same phone number, same mailing address since 1953. How did you send me a message?
To the best of my recollection, you had left a white binder at my office for me to review. And so I did take a look at that binder, and I looked through, and there was not a letter sent, but I apologize, my memory is not perfect. And so in regards to you getting your binder back, there was supposed to have been a message with you getting the binder back that unfortunately there was nothing I could do at this time.
Either that, or maybe I didn't have the right last name for you to contact me or follow through.
Well, we're here today,
Yeah.
so we can discuss the
Well-
issues that you have.
Well, there's the primary reason why I'm here. The first two sections on that, you can just flip over. I just thought, just in case that might come up, I could provide information. I want to talk about East 4th Street from Lorraine Street down to the pasture of Yost property. Now, I've got a question to Mr. Fleming.
Okay.
Have you ever seen or read this?
Yes.
Have you ever seen or read this?
Yes, I have.
Okay. That means that these are the laws that govern your position from the state of Kansas,
Correct.
are they not?
Correct.
Thank you. You'll find they also govern some other things, such as your position as county attorney. This is just a small portion, because I did go online and find out exactly what the state of Kansas designates as your responsibilities. But it says county attorney, county counselor. General duties of the county attorney include to prosecute or defend on behalf of the people all suits, applications, or motions, civil or criminal, arising under the law of this state, in which the state of their county is party or interested party in. In addition, the county attorney is to advise the board of county commissioners, county officers on this legal matters. Do you agree with that?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Now, I've brought the question up of East 4th Street. This is not the first time. But you'll find that in this, when it's describing county roads and how they're situated, now you have a condensed copy of this there. You'll find land abstracts and everything else there, showing people's property there. I've got land abstracts going all the way back to 47.
Can I stop you just a moment?
Yes.
What is this all about? I'm apparently in the dark here.
Okay, and I apologize to all three of you, because this is something that came up a while back, wasn't finished, and you're catching the blunt of this. And I had really wished, I found out I couldn't have a private meeting, because I didn't want to embarrass, humiliate, or shame somebody, an elected official that has not done their job in the past. But my purpose here is to get established that East 4th Street, from Lorraine Street down to the pasture, is a legal road and always has been. Now, you'll find in the county road laws, you'll find that it says, and you'll be able to read it there yourself, that in the event that there's an opening of a road and there's no record, the first thing you go back is to old road maps, aerial photos, stuff like that. If you go up to the museum, there's an aerial photo from 1949. It'll show 6 houses from Lorraine Street down to the pasture gate there. The houses first on the south west corner was a Henderson house. Across was a basement house owned by Marlon Ryman, which is now owned by Dave Myers. And you'll find on there it's bordered 208 feet of East 4th Street of the Park Hill addition. Then there was a Henderson house, and the Brewer, Cecil and Gerber, and then there was another building to the south of the Gerber house.
So to get this clear in my mind, you basically are here to want that road improved? Is that the goal?
I want to declare a county road as it had always been.
For what purpose?
For maintaining it.
For maintenance of
the roads, yes. Now, this year, I put $3,300 in that road to fix it up, out of my own pocket, that I should not have had to do. And I feel if she'd done her job a year ago, I wouldn't have to put that money in there. Because it's her job to enforce the laws of the state, which I have here. But as I said, when you go through there, it will tell you on well, I'll outline, but it will show, it will state in there first in in the event of a disruption, the road was open, but there's no record of it. First, look at old maps. Up at the county museum, I found a map from 1949, shows 6 homes down there. It also says in the event there's no road opening, go to the older people, elderly that lived there. You'll find a statement in there from the Brewer family, Anna Brewer, which passed away, Doug Brewer passed away, and then Dwight Brewer, which parallels the statements I've made before, stating that when we purchased the ground down there, the Henderson family, Dottie and Orville Henderson, designated a 60-foot wide roadway through there to be open for life. He guaranteed that. Then we gave ground on the north side of our property for 3rd Street to become a road, which is turned into a trail. Those are both outlined in here. You'll also find in there, when you look through that, there's a document showing that the gas company has a 60-foot right-of-way down there. The telephone company has a right-of-way down there, of course. Everybody uses a cell phone now. Now, what I'm asking for here, and you can come up to your own convenience and look at 4th Street and see what I've done. What I'm asking for is for the county to haul in enough milling there. It doesn't have to be brand new mat to finish that road out. I'll get it packed down myself and bladed, because I've like I said, I put $3,300 in that road this year.
Which property is yours?
Right here.
Okay. And you're wanting this entire
That stretch
area?
maintained, and I'm not even asking for a grader to come down there now, because I've done the work myself. At my own expense, and have been for some years. Now, I know that in this case, Dave Yost says he bought the 265 or 260 foot swath there, which would include this roadway. However, just like on the city sidewalk, you might buy ground, the sidewalk's there, it's on your property, but it's the city sidewalk. But this road's been established since 1947, and it should have been maintained by the county all along. And as late as when I retired from the service in 1985, the county was still maintaining that road from 47 to 85. There's quite a few years, and it says in here, any road that's been used by the public and maintained by the county for 15 years or more is a legal road. And you'll be able to find that in those books that you have there. So who made the decision that that was not a road?
It was never officially opened. It was a state law, I believe it was 1979, that a person, the county could do private drives. They've eliminated that because it was a conflict with contractors. And so therefore it has not been maintained since, I know since 86 anyway, or 89.
But you say you've read this, right?
Yes.
I will describe two of the reasons that make it a legal county road. Do you disagree with that?
I'm not disagreeing with that, but the ownership of the road is actually Dave Yost.
The road might be on his property, but you'll find when you read through these laws, a road's been in position for 15 years or more, used by the public, the South House Road, cannot be closed. It might be on his property, yes, but it is a legal road. He can't close it.
And he's not, I don't think he wants to close it, but
No, one time he tried. That's when this came up once before. But the thing is, I want that road maintained by the county. It is a legal county road. And if you read through this and you go back and read through it, even the updated copy, which I have the most updated, the ones you have there say the same thing that the most updated one does. And I'm the one who's been hauling rock and gravel on that road for the last 5 years at my own expense. Now, all I'm asking for now, if you haul in, it doesn't have to be new asphalt, some of the milling, so we can finish it out so it's packed down so we have a decent road in there. That's what I'm asking for. And I want it established as a legal county road as it is by the laws of Kansas.
I think first off, we got to research if it could actually be a legal open road.
Well, and the history in regards to this is that there was one common owner Mr. Henderson, that owned all of that property. And it was believed that he was going to make that a subdivision of St. Francis. Well, that never happened, but Mr. Henderson went ahead and sold off the tracts to different individuals for them to build homes on. Well, you cannot landlock someone. You have to provide them access to their home. So when this issue came up, Dave went back in the records in regards to what had and had not been dedicated as open roads in Cheyenne County, Kansas. And that had not been dedicated as an open road because Mr. Henderson owned all of that. So then, because of the fact that you cannot deny someone access to their property, this quote-unquote road was established so that they could have access to that property. Now, as Dave had mentioned, used to, the county could come in and, take care of a private property every now and then without consequence. But private contractors who came in got this law passed that said, county, you can't compete with us. And so if there's going to be anything that's done on private property, we need to have fair access in regards to providing this service. And so you shouldn't be doing this anymore. So that's when the maintenance of this road by the county stopped. And Mr. Dungan had a case with Mr. Yost in regards to this road.
Well, no, the case wasn't something else, but there's a brief overview in there.
But in any event, because this is all privately owned, it was tracked out, it was never dedicated as an open road. That is why we had taken the position that this is really more of a civil nature or civil matter, because this is the landowners who are landlocked, so to speak, having access to their property because it stemmed from a common ownership.
But officially, it was never designated as a county road.
Right.
If you go in there, you'll find a letter from the Brewer family that states just what I stated. And also in the county road laws that you have there, in page 6 on there, it'll say, no road opening record found, but the road has been maintained by the county. Usually it's fairly obvious that it is a public road and that the records were lost. A good example would be a section line road that looked like all other roads. Another example would be a through road that is used by the general public. Situation where no official records are found usually calls for some research in other areas to get an idea when the road might have been open.
Now, the key words in that...
Let me finish, please. Now it says, you might check old county maps and area photos, which I did. And then on down through there it says, if you have any detailed maintenance records or there are some old timers that may have retired or been around. And that falls in the Brewer. She was 100 years old when she made that statement.
The key words in that statute, though, are when the records are lost. Then you rely on other evidence in regards to the existence of that road. We don't have any
That's not the
lost
case here
records.
because there's not lost records.
Yeah.
And the other thing is through roads on section lines is also stated in there, and this is not.
So you're trying to tell me that's not a county road, even though right in there says it's been maintained for 15 years or more. It is a legal county road,
But that is-
even
but-
if it's on property.
But you only resort to those records if you have lost the records or believe that the records were lost in regards to it being dedicated as an open road, but we don't have any lost records to have to look at other evidence.
Well, I understand that, and if you read through that, I covered it briefly, but it says there's no record of opening, and you go to aerial maps, you go to old people that have lived down there. Brewer's built in 49 down there. We moved in there in 55, and at that time they were going to annex that area into the city, it'd be a subdivision, the Park Hill subdivision. Well, at that time, we were given 25 feet on the north side. We had to move our finish line back another 5 feet to allow 3rd Street to become a road. Jake Walls owned the feedlot across the street from there. He never moved his finish line back, and it was never opened up. But we provided an alleyway in the back of our property. We provided a road right through the center of my property as well, and gave ground for that. But the bottom line is, what it says right there in those, I might be dumb or stupid, but what it says in there says that in the event of no records of an opening, then you go to the statutes that I mentioned. The road's been maintained for over 15 years and used by the public. It is a legal road and cannot be closed. Now, I might be dumb, stupid, or whatever, but I can read regulation.
I think your best avenue there would be to petition that road out. Get all your neighbors to sign off on it now if it's an open road. Then you got a record that it's an open road.
After all this time, you want me to do that now?
Well, I don't know that where there is no record of it, even though you've got your maps and all. I don't really see any way around it. But I mean, if you get all your neighbors to sign a petition and then get it turned into an open road.
Yeah, but you're telling me, I say I might be dumb or stupid, but these laws that I have, and I know you've seen this with as well, are not correct, that I need to go a step further. Because I actually started to do that.
Well, it'd be the easiest way rather than to fight the system for a road that has never been declared open. I mean, even though it's an open road, it's not been declared open. It's just a paper trail. That's what you gotta create.
Well,
And you still have the option to deny, what the board does.
no, I have the option of going to the state, which is my next stop. And if you look at the very first page and what you've got there, I've been to the state. I didn't come in here blind, dumb, and stupid. I did my research, and you can see the different people I've talked to on 2 different things. I went to the state capitol to find out how this breaks down.
Well, you've done your research. Now we will attempt to do ours.
Okay. Well, that's the thing. And like I say, now I grew up in this town, a poor guy. Often went hungry because we didn't have any food in the house. I've watched in small town USA, some people get treatment one way, other people get treatment the other. I'm not accusing you of any of that. Don't get me wrong. But that happens, whether it's here or whether it's in Washington, D.C. But I look at things like, say, the road going out to the old Walmart place hasn't been bladed in years. All of a sudden, the promise is they're going to build a home down there. Now that road is bladed. Why?
It was never declared closed, and they decided to have it reestablished.
The people are building the house.
Had requested it, yes.
Did they do the same paper trail you're asking me to do?
It's an open road.
It was already a previous open road, and it was declared on the maps, I think.
We have no record that it's an open road.
Oh, okay.
And we probably had motor grader guys that just were good neighbors, and they bladed the road, and they probably weren't supposed to.
Okay. Thank you.
And you've done a lot of work down there, bringing oil in there and stuff. If we go in and blade, we're gonna blader the road.
I'm not asking to blade it. I'm not asking at this point. What I'm asking is I need about 200 tons more, I know it sounds like a lot, of milling, put on what I've done, and I'll get it spreaded and packed down. That's what I'm asking for at this point, and for it to be declared a legal road. That's what I'm asking for. 200 tons of milling is another $2,000 if I pay for it.
Well, again, it's obvious you've done your research. We will do ours, and
Okay,
we'll
thank
be
you.
back in contact with you.
All right, thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you.
And you can keep those books.
Did John ever show?
did you need to,
I was just gonna give them reports,
okay.
5 minutes whenever they get
Okay.
time.
Yeah, that's fine.
I think Dave's gonna, you wanna do it now?
Yeah, that's fine.
Go ahead. After Dave's done, then we're ready for you.
I've got the one from the power before. Western auction, we did sell one of them old trucks, and then we cleaned up quite a little this corner. There's on these 2 months, we have some payments from Holtz for scrap iron price. You'll also see the special road improvement, this 47-06136. This is that 90-10 share money where I have to turn in projects and things like that to get reimbursed for that. And below that, state of Kansas made their highway distribution, and we have some billing payments. Oops, I shortened it that time.
Oh, you're fine.
Oh, I guess I didn't go through the work report on that time before either. July 6th, we installed that tube there at the airport with flares in sections on that. They did pay for that culvert and flares. Basically blading, repairing washes, and mowing weeds on most of this. And we did do the fog seal on the detour road the week of July 20th and repaired the asphalt by Keller Pond.
How's the mowing done?
We're gaining, it's just, whenever the county's having enough trouble, we have enough rain and whatever, we got 2 mowers down already, so, yeah, we're still got some going, so.
And Lawn Ridge Road, you were out there last week. I did have a citizen that lives down there come to me and said, well, as far as I know, we're working on it. So,
Yeah, and we call it millings on most of that, and we just gotta do a few more blading to finish truing it up, and I think it'll be a big improvement, so,
good.
yeah. All right, on this month's report, there again, Fromholtz had some more scrap iron that he had hauled off, and some billings on that. And then on the second page, August 3rd, we had fairgrounds work. We also installed the fences up there by Burkhalter's that we took out to do some drainage on that road. Mowing blade, we did August 17th, we did the clean out that cattle guard up in 3-corner area. Have our time with signs up there in case you guys haven't heard. Yeah, I think someone with the Historical Society or something
yeah.
would put them up.
It's the Land and Sky Byway.
But these was private ones, I think. You'd think bring another guy did, and yeah, they got them stole again, I seen, so. Yeah, and then we got that laid more asphalt millings on that Road 15 on the week of August 24th. And then we're cleaning ditches this morning down here on North Street by Ron Zweigers. So
Yeah, I was going to ask about that, how.
I had my engineer look at it, and they're doing a little more research, and JR was going to have Miller and Associates guys look at that too, so.
The other night, it was raining, and I walked down there in the rain and watched. And that water comes across the road right there at his drive, right before his drive. And his drive is so low, it just goes right in there. There's no way to go anywhere. If we don't raise that drive, we're never gonna stop it, even with the ditch, because the water is coming down the south side of the road and crossing right there and right into his drive.
Probably right.
I mean, you gotta be there to see the rain. It's not what comes down the north ditch and goes in there. It crosses the road from the south side and goes right in his drive. And we've gotta elevate that drive. We have to, or it'll never stop.
Okay. But it's still gonna have some water coming in there or not, or my suggestion was to turn the drive and bring it in right across from Lanny's, right the other way, and put a culvert in there, and then completely have a big dike through there. Like a little wall there, so nothing's getting him flooded out.
What I'm saying is the water comes down the south curve.
South side.
And it crosses right there, right before it gets to his drive, and just shoots right in his drive.
Okay.
And if we don't raise the drive and put a berm there, and he said of trailers they want to drag, I don't think we can worry about that. The only way we're gonna stop water is to raise that drive. It has to come up. And it has to come from the street up and then back down into his yard. And of course, his drive is low, and over the years, it needs to be elevated on its own. No matter what we do to that ditch, we're not gonna stop the water. I don't think.
I'm not doubting that, yeah. I agree, it's done, and then the road flattens off right there in that area.
It goes over the road way before it ever fills that ditch. Now, when the ditch finally fills, then a little more water even goes in his drive.
Well, and I know he said it was way deeper at one time, but then we was transiting this morning from the culvert right there at Bob Smith's Drive on the outlet of that
Yeah.
to the cement right there where it turned to go on the Parks Road is only a foot variance.
Yeah,
So there's no need taking it down any more than a foot in the ditch.
no.
So,
The water is going down his drive from that south curve. And I think we're just gonna have to talk to him, and, I walked down there and watched it.
okay.
And I'm not saying we can't help him, but the only way we can help him is to fix that drive. That is the only way we can fix that.
Okay.
Because his drive is just level going right into his yard.
So the runoff from this area of town is all heading north.
Right.
And once it gets to that location there, west of your house, it just runs right across the road, is that what you're
East of
saying?
my house.
East.
Oh, yeah, west of my house, yeah.
Yeah,
It crosses the road right there. Right there.
Well, the
Yeah,
flood
right.
waters actually cross North Street, but a lot of it will actually turn and stay on the south side of the road, like Roger says, and then the street kind of flattens out a little bit, and that's where it's turning and then kind of directing going into.
All the water stays on the south curb. Very little water runs down that ditch.
Okay.
Very little. Takes a really big rain to get the water to go over it, but when it gets to his place, it crosses the road. The road's flat enough right there that.
well, let's see what this engineering group has to say
Okay.
too. And then get in contact with them and we'll
I don't
get something done.
We need to, that ditch needed to be cleaned, I agree, but I don't think it's gonna fix the problem with the water going in his yard. Unless we put a berm right in his drive,
Yeah, and that's what he didn't want, so.
and he doesn't want that.
Yeah.
And that's why he wants the road lowered. Well, that would be a heck of a project. To go-
North Street itself, yeah.
Yeah, that would be a major project.
Is there a way to divert that water on the south side somewhere else?
No.
Not unless you was to have a storm drain.
Yeah, you'd have to have a storm drain.
Well, that might be the ultimate answer.
That'd be a pretty major project too, because that'd have to be a big storm drain. And there's gonna have to be a culvert under his drive, isn't there?
I don't think there is now, is there?
No, there's not.
There's not, there was one, that's what we said, it always plugged up and it was always, then it was forcing the water
That
there.
ditch, and it's just still gonna go in his drive. And it's level. Matter of fact, it's lower than the road. I mean, he does have a problem, but that's gonna be the cheapest, is to fix the drive. All right, maybe you don't agree, but,
No, I agree with a lot of that. I mean, no doubt, a lot of water just simply running that direction, and that's the reason we added that little berm to the north of it, but it doesn't divert enough of it.
right.
And I think it's backing water up from Benton Street, you know, and therefore it's forcing more water going that way, so. Yeah.
Yeah, still basically crossing the road.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Dave. Good morning, ladies.
Hello.
We're a few minutes late, but you're welcome to come up.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll sit like he did.
Sure. Make yourself comfortable.
I'm Marcia Magley, and this is Helene Landenberger and my sister Shirley Watson. And we're here to represent the Bird City Historical Association. We are a 501c3 nonprofit entity, and we're not a part of the Cheyenne County Historical Society. Although we do county-wide searching. And what we're here today is to ask if you would keep us in mind in your budget planning. We don't get very much of anything. There is an in-kind matching like in October of every year, and the Century 2 private donations and Century 2, we usually get a couple of $100 with that coming in. We don't want to interfere with anything with the Historical Society, although we're all involved with that too. But mainly our concern is some funds to buy supplies and help with publishing costs.
Did you have a number in mind?
No. You keep us in mind.
Did you read the letter, or have
I
they?
haven't read it yet. I thought I'd let them read their own letter rather than me.
Okay.
Is that better?
It doesn't matter.
Or would you rather I would read
Well,
it?
let's see it. If you would give a copy to Karen also.
We don't want to take anything from the Historical Society, but we would like to be considered
Well,
separately.
basically, this is the core group of what used to be the Cheyenne County Historical Association, or Society here. And Dorothy Mast was our leader, and at a certain point, we decided to sort of break off on our own and do this.
That was our main thing, was to get off on our own, and
But they,
since Dorothy Mast has died, we've accumulated all of her records. And we meet in the old bank building, the Bacon building in Bird City.
we have a room of our own there.
I can't hear you.
We have a room of our own there.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
So what you're saying is anything will help.
Anything will help. Anything will help. Otherwise, we run into the problem that we can't publish because we don't have the money to
Funds.
do it.
Ladies, I don't know that we can help you a lot, if at all. The county's budget is really tight. We've already made the budget request for this year, and they're working on the audit of the budget right now. So it would be almost impossible to get any funds.
Oh, we're not in a big hurry. Just keep us in mind.
Keep us in mind for next year,
That we can probably do.
if you would, please. Put the letter on file and remember it next year when you
At
are
budget time.
planning. We wouldn't ask a humongous amount, because we just wouldn't, but we need some
Right, a little support.
kind of support.
And one of the tough things right now is the new tax lid. We're not able to even raise taxes any significant amount without a vote.
Yeah,
And at the cost of elections, it would have to be a major type project for us to seek that avenue. But not saying we can't possibly help you out. I mean,
okay.
we will try.
We'll take you at your word
Well,
and go with that.
We will try.
All right. Thank you for seeing
All right.
us.
Thank you,
Will the
ladies.
Cheyenne County Historical Society give you a little bit of money on
No.
theirs?
No. You okay, John? Okay.
No,
Okay.
and we don't want to take away from that.
And we don't want
as far
to
as
bother
that goes.
them at all. We work with them, though. I mean, we go to research, and we're all members of the Historical Society, but this is separate and apart in Bird City, where we meet and do our research.
Have you approached Cheyenne County Historical Society about helping at all?
We don't want to confuse it, you know? We don't want to get too,
I can see that, yeah.
because we are a 501c3 on our own.
Right.
So we don't want to put the Historical Society out at all.
What we really need is some private donations is what you really need.
What you really need to do is get in the newspaper.
Well, and we were successful in getting the ancient Indian Traders Trail marked. It was a pretty big project.
That was a
and we
big
just
project.
got grants and raised the money, and like you said, to do that.
Yeah.
And we're finding almost everybody's having to seek
Yeah.
those other sort of resources.
I know.
One of
I
the
do know.
things that we want to do, Rosemary Powell had visited with somebody about marking the road
Yeah,
that goes
I-
south on the west side of Bird City and calling it the Traders Trail Road.
The Edson Road is what you're talking about?
The Bird City Edson Road.
Right.
But we have to have the permission of the commissioners,
Well, I think she got it back
but
then.
it's not
And-
official. It's not in writing.
But signage is what we would kind of like, and wondered if at the road crossings, if it could be put like under the road number on the signs, or are those 911 signs to be strictly what they are?
I believe they're
Well, they're pretty
standalone
well
signs.
set. Yeah, that would be, I don't know about what you're talking about, but
On the
it would still say,
Road markers.
remain road something.
Well, yeah.
What she's trying to do is defer the cost of putting a new post. You just want to hang a sign on them.
Well, and when you put posts and things, then you've got to get landowners.
Well, I was thinking about just a regular street sign that said Traders Trail Road going south. That's all I was thinking.
Oh, just one at the highway, you mean?
Yeah, Traders Trail Road. I thought that's what we were talking about.
No, we were going to mark
Which
it
shouldn't
all the
amount
way
to
through
too
Cheyenne
terribly
County.
much, except for the actual plaque that says Traders Trail Road.
I think, ladies, if you could maybe make contact with the sheriff's department and 911 and see if there could be some permission in regards to putting your sign underneath the designated sign, then that would be a good place to
That
start.
would be a good place to
And so go
to
ahead and start with them and see if it is a possibility. And then if it is, come back, and I'm sure that the commissioners would not have a problem with it, but we need to make sure that everything is properly marked and not impeded, so that
Right,
the emergency
yeah.
services can respond.
Right.
But if you want to have a visit with them, that's where I would start.
We maybe do need official permission from you guys to do this.
Yeah,
as far
maybe
as-
in your minutes or somewhere
Well,
that you
But
approve.
first, we need to see if
But
it's possible.
first, let's
Okay.
go to
Okay?
They're saying
So
we
let's
gotta
see if
come
it's
back.
possible. Have that conversation and then come back and let us know if it's doable. Okay?
Mhm.
And we can proceed accordingly.
Sounds
we,
good.
We keep forging ahead. We're busy.
That's, I'm proud of you. That's what it takes.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Neil. All right. Now, the last thing I think today is the candidates for the assisted living
Village Board.
village
Cheyenne
board.
County Village Board.
We talked about numbering these, and then each of us maybe write down, we're looking for the 5-member board, correct?
Right.
That's what our goal is. We have 10 applications. So if we number the applications, each commissioner picks out 5 that he feels would do a great job, then we can kind of compare and
We can
whittle it
tally
down.
the choices and see if
Yeah,
there's a.
whittle it down from there.
Exactly.
All right.
But just as an explanation, in order for Sun Porch to assume management of the assisted living and the skilled nursing facility, there has to be a 501c3 corporation formed. And that 501c3 board, in order to be formed, has to have people designated to form it. And so that is why we are going ahead and appointing a board so that they can go ahead and get the 501c3 incorporated and get the process going.
I know we're talking about this. Have we had anybody want to be on the fair board? Are we short some yet? We are, aren't we?
Didn't he say at the last meeting, that last time, that there was a couple?
He said he had a couple that he was working on.
We need to be trying to get that filled too.
I don't know that they were short, but they were going to be. I think one or two was going off or something.
Well, I read on the paper that one time, it looked like there was about 3 of them over there.
Where was I at? 5.
This looks like it ought to be a Bird City deal.
I should go into the Antique Association, see what they could get.
Two entities working, trying to get it.
Well, and I think Bird City's always been pretty generous. I mean, their Century 2 has always been pretty generous. I don't know why they wouldn't hit them up pretty hard, too.
The Historical Society, what did you say, 4,700?
4,700 is what we budget for Historical Society. There you go.
I didn't realize it took a resume to get on this board.
Hey, we're tough, buddy. We want the right
I am
people.
guessing you
We
are.
used the hospital application, and it is a resume on there.
And the fair board's pretty much the same. I mean,
we just kind of wanted to get all the counties, or all the boards that's under the county, everybody doing the same things.
Being consistent.
Got an extra paper clip. Sit there. I got one right here. I got one. Janet Conlon. Where'd she go?
I haven't found her yet. Unless she was stuck with something else.
Yep, right there. Okay.
I don't know if them ladies remember, there's already an ancient Trader's Trail site south of Bird City, they're 10 miles.
Really? I knew there was some north.
Well, I know there's one south there because it's one of them district breaks.
Oh, so it's not a state sign or a...
No. No, I just signed for it, put it on the desk 100 years ago. He made a lot of them. Just
Yeah.
took a look around the county.
Yeah, he did.
What state's in Millings for, do you know?
I don't. But I see they're all over town now. I've seen a couple big piles out here at Majestic.
I'm guessing 40 years ago, I shouldn't have run down that street.
Shame on
You guys' decision.
Can I see those back for a second, Roger, please?
Junior vote or what?
Yeah,
He put more thought into it than we did, Roger.
we have no idea whether he, Leslie,
What?
we have no idea whether he hired an administrator last night. You remember he told us, or 2 nights ago, he was doing interviews. Which would do, you know these ladies. Okay,
Yeah, that one, and she's got an opinion.
okay.
And of course, I'll tell you an executive session one and the other one, but not in open.
Okay, got some numbers in mind?
Let's see how many match. That'd be the way to do it.
Not very many. You guys are terrible at this.
Well, it's probably because we just think different than you do. How many do we have the same?
2, 10, and 4, all 3 of us are in agreements with.
Take them out of the 10, I guess we start again.
All right.
Take 2, 10, and 4, plus the ones that you guys didn't agree on. And consider the ones you didn't agree on, limited.
All right, here we go again.
Can we just go through them again?
I don't know. I don't know any other way to do it, really. Unless you want to start some discussion.
Well, let me see what the hell you guys had on your first pick, and then we can go from there. Let me see number 5, because what you guys got 5. And if I can agree on that, then we're good. Yeah, I'll go with that. There you go, you got one more.
Go down to what? The line?
What else we got? It's close.
You need, if we can at least match somebody here.
Well, that'd be the best way to do it, though. It's 2 out of 3.
We got 2 1s. This is the only other odd one out.
Who's one? Oh, I know who one is.
Well, one thing about number 1, the new management team was pretty insistent. And we
Did
really,
they give you a reason why they were pretty insistent?
yeah,
Okay.
been with the project, knows how to get money.
Well, yeah, but most of he's in here begging us for it.
Well, that's the reason they want him.
Well, I put him down the first time because he's been there for a long haul now. It's basically it.
Well, and I also, going off what John Grace has told us in the past. Discussion there, Roger?
No,
You sure?
no, go ahead.
All right, then we have 5 board members. Tom Keller. You're gonna love this one, Sarah Hauptman. Sherry Carmichael. Eddie Schultz. And Karen Moberly. And basically the reason most of these people have been involved with this project from the very beginning and already have a working relationship with Grace, John Grace and Sun Porch LLC. So I think that's what influenced the decisions more than anything.
Is it possible for me to have a copy of those and I will do a story on each one?
You want their application?
Can we do that?
It's an appointed position.
I'm not opposed to it, but
I would appreciate it. I think it'd be nice to know why they were chosen, what their goals are. Otherwise, we're gonna have to call them.
Damn, that's just tough work, isn't it?
It would be nice if we could.
so we'll let Scott make that call whether he can give you those applications.
And Scott will be talking to Leslie.
That's how you pass the buck. You're getting ready to, aren't you?
I am getting better. Well, you guys are way too late.
We're already adjourned.
Yep.
Good. And that's, yeah.
We picked 5 board members.
And we need a motion on that.
Yes. I'll go ahead and make a motion that we accept the applications for the position of Cheyenne County Village Board member. And we had 10 applications. The 3 county commissioners went through and worked that number down to 5. And those names are Tom Keller, Eddie Schultz, Sarah Hauptman, Sherry Carmichael, and Karen Moberly. Since the majority has been involved with this from the beginning, we felt that we didn't want to upset that. You guys possess more knowledge about this than anybody else.
Say those names again. I think we might have skipped over one. Tom Keller, Sarah Hauptman, Sherry Carmichael, Eddie Schultz, and Karen Moberly.
Okay.
So, your work is now cut out for you again. Leslie and I met with John Grace the other day, and this was one of the things he wanted done as soon as possible, especially
Well,
since,
because there's a lot of stuff, especially when they cut another 30 days off the.
right,
That
since
really
Good Samaritan
is
bumped everything up 30 days.
Well, and as I explained earlier, the only way that you can do the incorporation is if you have people to do it. So you have to have a board.
And my understanding was this is a paid position.
You bet.
Mm-hmm.
You bet.
Caden, kindness,
Kind of
is
like your
attitude.
last one.
You come in here and submit that budget and we'll take care of it.
Well, I guess thank you for your vote of confidence.
Well, the basic idea is going to be, since you're a 501c3, you're going to be making all the decisions. The funding is going to remain the same from the county commission, an equivalent of 6 mills. After the board is formed and everything is kind of okayed, you're going to be responsible for the day-to-day decisions, activities, everything from scheduling to maintenance. We just want to hear about your financials at the end of, I don't know, monthly, quarterly, something.
So you're tired of seeing us too. You don't want us here every month.
I didn't say that.
We just want you in there every month and you're not in the red's what we're wanting.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, we just want good news, no bad.
Yeah. So,
Well, good luck to the new board, and you guys can elect yourself a.
Could you repeat those again?
I move that we appoint those 5 members.
Okay.
I second.
All those in favor of the 5 members mentioned?
Aye.
Aye.
Are we done?
yeah.
Yes. You got any more business for the commissioners this morning?
I move we adjourn.
He's not coming?
There had to be a miscommunication of some kind, obviously.
Sending a text and left a message and haven't heard back, so.
Okay, motion's been made to adjourn. I'll second it. All those in favor?
Aye. I'm gonna get much stuff in my thing for the next.
I don't know.
On that one, there's not gonna be a conflict of interest, is there?
We don't know. We discussed that. We're not 100% clear.
Employee. Sounds like it to me, but
Got the knowledge.
She possesses some knowledge you're gonna
Oh, I
need.